So today, Tuesday, we got some work done here on Toledo, and Toledo looks a little bit different because it went over to the wash bay today and it got cleaned up. And I forgot what an absolutely beautiful color Toledo blue is. On any car, it was mostly an E53 color, a couple E39s. I don't think the E38 was in production when Toledo was around. And then I don't believe I've ever seen an E46 in this color, though it's an absolute BMW winner. Unfortunately, this one really needs a polish. And more than that, it could use some paint on all four doors, the entire roof. The trunk lid clear coat is just really hazy and cracking, and same deal on the hood. So par for the course on a California car, though the good news is there's no rust. So we've been playing with this thing all day. Lots of fun, the M63 secondary air pump. And we still have the secondary air flow too low. Well, that's because there is no flow. So kind of anything that could go wrong with this system was wrong with this system. We had a bad vacuum line, so we've replaced all the vacuum hoses. We had a bad valve. New valve and gasket went on today. The hose to and from the secondary air pump, or I guess from the secondary air pump, is fine. And we hooked up the pump today to 12 volts and it spools up okay. So why isn't it running? It will not activate in ISTA when we're manually trying to operate it. We can hear this relay, this salmon pink red one, clicking up here. Obviously it's out right now, but with it in there it clicks. So I believe that's working, though we tried a different one. Fuse 31 in the glove box is fine. We have continuity between the pump and the relay to ground, pump to ground. All of the wiring passes a visual inspection. It seems to be fine. And that leaves one component in this system that we need to dig into, and that would be F107 50 amp fuse, which is oh so conveniently located underneath the driver's seat and under the carpeting. It's one of those, I don't know if they're glass fuses or what they are. They're really big, meaty fuses that screw into that white plastic thing with the green cover. So I have some of those used ones. I could of course acquire a new one if we want to. I just wanted to avoid pulling the seat out. We've already had the seat out in this car, and the secondary air pump was working, so this has failed in the few months that it's been here. But tomorrow, I think we'll just put everything back together, put that relay back in, and hook up a voltmeter when we start it, and it's actually bone cold. And assuming it doesn't work, like it hasn't been working, then we're going to have to pull the seat and get a look at that fuse. Diesel valve got rebuilt today with the repair kit supplied by the customer. It replaces some weaker plastic or I don't know, rubber components. I don't know exactly how that thing works, but there's a pin in there that can fall out and get ingested into the intake manifold, and that's no good. So the repair kit aims to fix that. And the diaphragm is okay. So rebuilt diesel valve, replaced the center console storage box. That was just one of those things that we got tired of looking at on the work order. So we got a nice new one in there. Interior cleans up fairly well. 127,000 mile car. Door panels are beautiful. Some wear on the seat, things like that, kind of dirty carpets, probably original. Headliner's nice, parcel shelf is nice. Of course, the pillars are peeling because that's what they do. He's going to have paint work done in Florida for painting the front bumper and painting this mirror cap that needs to go on. Reason being, it's literally half the price of here. I just think the environmental and regulatory components of operating the business in Florida are just a lot easier and thus a lot less expensive than here. Nate, tomorrow morning or afternoon, your oil pan should be going back on. It's all clean and those seals on the pumps are replaced. So that starts the fun project of reassembly here, which will probably be, you know, a solid day or something like that. Earlier today, we had a absolutely beautiful, I don't know why I didn't film it, 2001 540i, unfortunately an automatic, but a sienna red car with a black interior, crazy rare. I had forgotten that he was the Sienna owner. He came in here March 2020, right as COVID hit, and we did an MPI for him on the 540. And then I saw him in Rancho Santa Fe, saw the car in Rancho Santa Fe at Cars and Coffee once or twice since then, but he still has it. Absolutely gorgeous, 84,000 mile car. Back in today for front curved control arms that we noted were torn at the time on the MPI, but now they had started to vibrate. So Miley HD arms in the front of that, and then noted a bunch of oil leaks, you know, M62 things. Valve cover gaskets leaking and Vanos solenoid gaskets leaking at a minimum. So he's coming back in about 2 weeks to have all those gaskets and seals replaced. We'll clean up the front of the engine, have him drive the car a bit, bring it back, and we'll see what else is leaking. Unfortunately, no updates on that cam cap today, so we're still waiting. That was today at the shop. It's rather cool, 54 degrees out right now, so I'm gonna go jump in the M5 and head home, a nice warm shower, get something to eat. Oh, and a few small little organizational changes here. So our 40-inch 1-inch drive breaker bar fits in none of our toolbox drawers. So I took a nail and ground the head off and pounded it into that stud at a bit of an angle, and it now lives there, where we will probably use it twice a year. Then these drawers down here can't hold much weight. This equipment's old. So I took out some of the heavier items here, just strut nut sockets, spark plug socket that we don't really use. It's 13/16, but it's handy to have. O2 sensor socket, M62 Vano solenoid socket, 32 mil big socket for something. There's the inch drive 27 mil. That's for putting on butyl tape. Clutch alignment pins. This is for like an E36 M3 alternator pulley. I had to buy that for Kenan's. Oil filter socket. We call this the cheek spreader. You put that in the wheel carrier and it opens it up. Turn that 90 degrees and then you can slide the strut out, and our 1 to 1/2 inch drive reducer. Followed by a few more items in the back. One, it's easier access and it gets the weight out of those drawers. It was frozen pizza and email night here at the house. That was about it. I caught up on that stuff and did some dishes and cleaned out the sink. It was a fun night. Cleaned out the fridge, not the sink. The sink wasn't that bad. So with that, we're putting Tuesday to bed. I woke up this morning and I didn't know if it was Tuesday or Wednesday. And Peanut's gonna make a bit of an appearance here. And that just tells you how crazy of a Monday it was. Gonna come out again? I guess not. He almost gets the door open if he wants to. All right, I'm going to bed. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We'll talk then.